This is about the Minnesota Aspirations and Computing Awards program. And this is a year-round effort in which what we're working to do with all of our partners is to inspire, engage, and I would say empower young people to pursue a technology education and career path. And so this is sort of the ultimate experience in that empowerment sort of strategy. And we're going to hear that from our interns today about how they have been empowered. We're also going to hear that from our practitioners about what role they played in that process as well. So what we're going to do is I've sort of said enough. What we're going to do now is I'm going to ask that our practitioners that are here from our companies introduce themselves. And what I'm interested in is if you could state your name, your company that you work with, your role, and then also what is your role with the intern? We had a range of sort of ways that people support this program, and I think it's important for people to know what those roles are. So if let's get started with SPS Commerce. Charlotte, if you could kind of get us started, and then if you look in the list, maybe you could popcorn it and hand it off to a colleague. Would that work okay?
Sure, works for me.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charlotte Countryman. I'm an application engineer at SPS Commerce. I was asked by Russell and Amy Patton to speak here today as part of my connection to the interns. I do see Ben here. Would you care to introduce yourself?
Sure, thanks, Charlotte. So I'm Ben De La Rosa. I'm manager of the SysOps team. I've actually been involved with the interview process at SPS for all the interns over the past 3 years now.
Well, wonderful.
So and then, yeah, and it's always, I'm just gonna say, always fantastic. The candidates are they blow my mind every year, and they're always awesome. Then also the interns, Eau Claire specifically, spent some time with my team, and then I've been coordinating her time spent with the other operational teams as well. So I will hand it off to Jeff Heidelberg.
I'm also with SPS Commerce. This is my second year having a Aspirations intern, and I would echo what Ben said, that it's really fun to see someone at the start of their career and also the things that they've accomplished. It's way more than I was doing towards the end of high school. I'll just say that much. So they're already way, way, way ahead is the reaction that I've always had, but it's really great. I'll also say personally, as someone who has right now a 10-year-old daughter, that's probably the most amazing thing is kind of seeing the future and these opportunities are available. She's super into computer science already. So seeing that those pathways are somewhat available and that these types of programs exist. So both as a manager at a company and as father of a daughter, I think it's really cool that these things exist. So thank you.
Great. Is there anyone else that you could see in your list from SPS, Jeff? And if not, if anyone is in the space, just jump in.
Nikki, do you want to go or should I?
Sure, I can go and then I'll hand it off to you, Corey. Hi, I'm Nikki Stevens. I'm a Senior Director of Development at SPS Commerce. And we hold very true to our value of our tech organization being a learning team. We value learning as an organization and how we connect to the community and the industry. We value learning of our employees, and we value being able to help others learn and grow along their journeys. So it's fun to be a part of this program. There are several people on my team that work directly with our interns, and I make sure to support and have a fun time kind of working out, well, what are the cool projects and things we're gonna have our interns work on. So that's my role, and Corey is on my team. So good intro to Corey, who can go next.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, like Nikki said, I'm under her umbrella, and I've worked with Aspirations interns for 5 or 6 years. This is my second year managing an intern. I managed Cecilia. Last year, I also managed Brianne, and she's back this year as a college intern. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, just awesome program all around. And we've had 1 or 2 on our teams since 5 or 6 years ago, like I said.
So super, Corey. Thanks so much. Is there anyone else from SPS at this time? All right, hearing none. I'd like to go to Brennan with Securian. Please introduce yourself, Brennan, and then hand it off, if you would, to a colleague.
Sure. Brendan Kratke. I'm an engineering senior manager at Securian Financial. This is our first year participating in the internship program, and we've had the pleasure to work with Elena this summer and be just amazed at her talent and her energy, and super positive experience. So really glad to participate in this program. I'm going to toss it over to one of our job coaches, Jessica Lee.
Sure, thank you, Brennan. So hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Lee, and I'm an investments technology analyst with Securian Financial. I just love to echo all of Brennan's comments. This is our first year being a part of the program, and we've absolutely loved working with Elena and having her with us for the summer. And my role with this program has been, I've been involved with interviewing and some work coordination with Elena this summer.
Yeah.
I see Julie McCrae in the audience there, so I'll pass it off to her.
Yeah, thanks, Jessica, too, for that support.
Thanks, Brendan and Jessica. So I'm not sure how much Elena knows me very well because I wasn't directly working with her this summer, but I was involved in trying to get an internship at Securian for a long time, right, Russell?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Julie.
we tried and we tried and we tried, and then finally this year I just said, we're doing this. We got to get a group of people together and figure out how this can happen. And we knew that in order to make it successful, we needed to have the right leader, and Brennan was perfect for that. So it was super fun. And then Jessica knows she has a little special place in my heart. So she was perfect as a job coach for Elena. And Elena got a chance to write a couple of things for our newsletters that went around to different distribution groups. And so well-spoken, so excited to have you at Securian. Everybody who knows you is like, oh my gosh, Elena is just awesome, just wonderful. So we were just blessed beyond measure. This experiment that we tried this summer with the program and you, Elena, was unbelievable. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Julie. Is there anyone else from Securian here today that you're aware of?
I don't think so. I think that was all that could make it.
Okay, no, this is great. Just want to make sure they all have the chance to introduce themselves. Let's move to Land O'Lakes. Amanda, are you with us?
Hello, yes, I am. Turn my video on for a little bit too. So yeah, I'm Amanda. I work at Land O'Lakes, and I'm a co-lead for the Aspirations program. So we work, Beth McMillan, if you've seen her name or she's been a part of these meetings before, she coordinates more at a program level. And then I have a co-lead, and we both coordinate all the programs that we do. So we do a lot of fun coffee chats, and we had 2 awesome interns for the summer. Outside of the co-lead of the Aspirations program, I work on our Salesforce platform as an IT developer. So
wonderful. And Amanda, Land O'Lakes has been engaged with this for many, many years. I'm going to say
yes,
5 or 6 at least.
Yes, yeah, it's been around for a while here at Land O'Lakes. I've been involved the last 2 years, so it's been really kind of fun to be a part of this whole virtual world and try to organize an internship program virtually. But yeah, we had a really good summer.
That's super. Do you want to hand this off to a colleague?
Yeah, I have Nancy. She's my co-lead on here. I know she said she was having some. Oh yeah, there she is. Hey Nancy, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nancy. So like Amanda said, we were co-leads for the summer. We've been leading it for the past 2 years now, and we're just coordinating events to get the interns engaged and networking with other people throughout the organization for the summer. So I am a BSA, a business systems analyst at Land O'Lakes, and have been here for about 4 years-ish now.
Super, Nancy. Do you want to hand it off to a colleague?
I don't know if Hannah is still here. I saw her, but she might have dropped. So I think that is everyone.
Okay, super, great. How about Donna?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Donna Warasingasopa. I am an HR manager with General Mills supporting the digital and technology function. This past summer, we had 2 great interns. This is our first year participating, so Maggie and Akandra, and so thrilled to have them. And it was great this summer. In terms of my role, I admittedly came on at a transition period, but helping with some of the programming and setting up, and had a lot of great learnings this past summer, and excited to continue to participate in this program.
You know, before you hand it off to a colleague, Donna, I just comment about General Mills. General Mills came on board with us year 2. Devin Sales, who is just a super ally, big time champion, has been engaged in the committee and a variety of other things over time. And we have been working for a long time for this day to get a high school intern or interns into General Mills. So woohoo!
Yes, all for Devin. Devin's on maternity leave right now, so not on that call, but yeah, big kudos to her.
Yeah, and I'll be passing this recording on to her, so way to go. You want to hand this off to?
I think I only just see Tori. So Tori, if you want to go next.
Yeah, just to echo a big woohoo for Devin too. Really happy and appreciative of everything that she's done to keep us involved with Aspirations. But I'm Tori Winker. I work with General Mills, and this is the first time we've had an Aspirations interns, which was great. And I was an Aspiration buddy. So I was Maggie's buddy, and we met every other week just to check in, make sure her internship was going fine, see if she needed anything, all that fun stuff. And I think that's it for General Mills. People that are on the call.
Not quite. We want to thank Tori too, because one of the levels of our honorees is Rising Stars and Certificate of Distinction. And for the last couple of years, General Mills has been the Certificate of Distinction host when we do that celebration. So way to go, General Mills. All right, Tori, is there anyone else in the space from General Mills today?
Not that I'm seeing. I think that's it.
All right, you're representing. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go to Prime Therapeutics. Katie, come on down.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Katie. I'm with Prime Therapeutics. I'm actually a technical recruiter. And unfortunately, my team is all off on vacation today. So it's, high time for vacation. And truthfully, we had 2 interns. This was our first year hosting Aspiration interns as well. Audrey Douglas was with us for 10 weeks. She's actually already out at MIT this week taking some tests. So she will be attending MIT this fall. And she was in our DevOps team and did a phenomenal job. They would love to hire her if at all possible. And then Samiksa, who goes by Sammy, VJ, she is also on vacation today. She was an intern in our IT security team. And I have some remarks for her to share later on in the presentation. So we were so excited. We had a great summer with the interns, and it was fun to help facilitate that with the teams.
Yeah, and I would just comment, Katie's been with this effort for 10 years. She's the fiscal agent. She makes sure everybody gets paid. And that's a big deal when it comes to working on projects and making sure our sponsorship dollars are well spent. So Katie, this has been a long sort of path for us too, right? To get to this level where you have an intern in your midst. So this is another day of great celebration. So thank you, Katie. All right, so we're going to move on now to Optum. Kristen, if you could reintroduce yourself, that would be great, and then pass it off to your colleagues.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Kristen, as I said before. I am the program manager for the technology development program at Optum, which encapsulates our internship program. We had about 5 or 6 interns through MNAiC this summer, and they all did fantastically. I just got raving reviews from all of their managers. So we're so happy that they were able to be with us. To my knowledge, I don't know that any of my other colleagues are on the phone, but if there's anybody else from Optum, please jump in.
I'm here.
Oh, great. Sorry, Kate, go for it.
I have the wrong background on and I don't know how to change it on the fly. But anyway, I just stopped my video. I'm just trying to change my background. So hello, everyone. I'm Kate Agnew. I'm a senior director of software engineering at Optum. I've been working with Russ for like literally more than 10 years now, I think. But over the last year, as well as this year we got the 5 interns in. So super, super excited. And I think on the call, I see Anjali, Devna, and Karina. I don't think that Belisi or Alexandra were able to join today, but phenomenal program. Excited that we were able to bring in so many this year and figure out what future years look like. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kate. It's always great to see you. Well, and congrats on your new role, because I remember you through a lot of roles. And this is by far the best. Way to go, Kate.
Thank you.
All right, so what we're going to do now, folks, is I'm going to call on some of our interns randomly. If you're in the space, it's just come on forward, and you're going to have this opportunity to spend 3 to 4 minutes sort of informally telling us about your role. Once again, if you'd like to use PowerPoint slides, you're able to do that. Just simply share your screen, and let's get started. So let's go to Elena Tan. Or come on down if you're in the space.
All right. Okay, I'm realizing I may have gone a little overboard. I'm not sure.
No, don't worry about it, Elena.
Cool. So this summer at Securian, just show you a bit of the stuff I worked on. I started in Tableau, which is just a data visualization app. And I was working with some ARGs, which are associate resource groups, to sort of take a look at some of their different attendance data for events and put that into a bunch of little charts and answer some questions we had. So this is a picture of my dashboard in Tableau right here. And unfortunately, since it's a screenshot, you can't see the cool sort of features that I added of interactivity. So actually all these little blue things are data points that you could click on, and in the real dashboard, it would filter down all of the different charts and let you just look at data for that specific data point. And then what I worked on next was this project called Fund Management. So that's an internal tool that is used for fund management. I know, crazy. And so for that project, I sort of got to learn a little bit about SQL and dig around in the database, because my assignment for that project was just to add a feature that would allow users to undo a change they made to the database. And so I had to sort of figure out what exactly that entailed doing in the database with SQL commands, and then implementing that in Java. And I also got to use this little tool called Postman for testing, which I'd never used before. So decided to add a picture of that. And then my final project I worked on was Gladiator, which is another internal web app. And I was building out a whole page for reconciling mortgages, which I realized I didn't explain what Gladiator is. So Gladiator is just the web app that is basically helps people reconcile between the sort of database for investment accounting, I think, and the actual general ledger and making sure all those numbers line up. And so here is a screenshot of my sort of front end of my webpage. And what you can't see is all the work I did in the API and with JavaScript to make the table all like connect to the database, get that stuff, and then display it all. So that was a cool project. And then one last thing I wanted to mention was I was actually lucky to, even though I'm the first high school intern for Securian, be interning alongside all of these other college interns. And so I actually joined the intern social committee this summer during the 10 weeks I was here. And that was a really cool experience. I've never been on any sort of like event planning committee, and it was a really good way to get to know the other interns, even though we were all distanced. And we actually managed to plan 15 different events this summer over 10 weeks, which is pretty amazing, I think. So that's what I worked on this summer. Thanks.
So Elena, thank you so much. Real quickly, what are your plans for the immediate future here? Where are you heading off to?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna be a senior in high school this coming school year, and I'm PSEOing at the U of M. And so figuring that out and applying for colleges is the plan immediately.
Oh, what an exciting time for all of you. It's a liberating time. Enjoy every bit of it. Thank you so much, Elena, for your presentation today. We had, I think, 3 different company representatives that joined us after I realized you were in the waiting room. I'm so sorry. But if you are a company rep and you haven't introduced yourself yet, please do so. Let's start with, I think it was Andre I saw, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If you could introduce yourself. And we're basically your name, your company, and your role with the intern.
Good morning. I'm Andre with SPS, and I'm a manager of the Assortment development team, where Caroline Pirtle, who is here, joined us for the full summer.
That's super. Thank you so much, Andre. I've seen you involved in these efforts before, so thank you for your support.
You're welcome.
I know, Belise, you joined us as well. You won't need to introduce yourself at this stage. We will get to you during your presentation. There were 2 other people who joined us just now. Didn't introduce yourself. If one of you could pop up now, that would be great. Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nev. I hopped on recently. My other meeting ran a little bit longer, but I've been involved in Aspirations just through our Women in Digital and Technology outreach effort. And then Devin, Tori, and I have worked with the Aspirations community to kind of make sure that we were able to have interns this summer and work with leadership to get that program started for this year. And then worked with Akandra and Maggie, specifically our 2 interns at General Mills, as we kind of make sure that their first time experience ran smoothly.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nev. It's great to see you, and you're welcome anytime. Thanks for coming. We're just grateful to have you in the space. Who's our 3rd person that joined us?
Myself, Troy Jordan from SBS, manager of the cloud operations team. This is my first time ever having interns from Aspirations. And this time around, we've been working with Claire. So it's been a pleasure having her here. And this has been a good learning experience, I think, for all of us.
Super, great. Thanks, Troy. It's wonderful to have you in the space, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go now to a second presentation by Sophie Bingen.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Sophie.
I'm just going to share my screen real quick and start a little PowerPoint. Again, okay. Sorry, hold on. There we go. Okay, so I was an intern at Land O'Lakes this summer, and I worked within the Madcap team. And I'm just going to go a little into that.
And Madcap, what does that stand for?
So Madcap is a series of different systems. It's a website, a mobile app, and also just like a computer system that works with entering like hauler loads and milk loads into the system. So when milk is picked up from a plant, it's entered into the system.
Yep.
So the first thing I worked on was the mobile app, and the mobile app is used directly by truck drivers to enter information into the app about the milk they picked up, such as the weight and the time they picked it up and the plants and the temperature. So I worked on testing the mobile app to make sure it's ready for a go live date, and really just testing different aspects and then reporting errors that were occurred within the mobile app. And then also on the right here, there's these load sheets, and the load sheets are paper sheets that our truck drivers write down information on. So I also worked with just editing those load sheets to make sure that they were easier to use by our drivers. The second thing I worked on was something called the Madcap pilot and training system. So this is a system that's used to search loads that were entered through the mobile app to view them and make sure that they were entered correctly. So my job was to test the system to make sure that everything entered within the mobile app was being seen correctly. And then also within the training system, it was my job to manually enter loads and document certain things like manifest numbers and pickup pool numbers, and then report any errors that I found with it and document any errors within that. And the last thing I worked on was Hauler Portal. Hauler Portal is a website that's used to view different things like hauler users and hauler loads and hauler payments that are entered within the mobile app again. So it was my job to go in and retest previous errors that were documented and state whether or not they were continuous or if they had been fixed. And then also it was my job to create a documentation guide for haulers for people who have never used the website before, to make sure they can use it correctly. And then a couple key takeaways I learned this summer. I learned a lot about communication and time management and confidence and the technical skills. These were all great skills that I learned this summer and really took away from my internship. And then the last thing I learned was Nancy and Amanda were kind enough to set up coffee chats with different leaders within the company. So I got to learn a lot about their different positions. And then Nancy and Amanda also set up presentations with either different things within the company, such as dairy foods, the American Connection Project, or just different life skills such as networking and resumes. I would just like to say thank you again to Land O'Lakes for having me and everyone this summer who helped organize my summer and really made it amazing.
Super, Sophie. And what are your immediate plans?
Just starting my senior year at Maple Grove Senior High and then applying to colleges right now.
Super, great. Thank you so much for presenting. Excellent job. Thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to Maggie Kai.
Hi, so
Is Maggie here today?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So I think I'll just talk about my project since my slides has like company information on it. So what I did this summer was a personal identifiable information and table security project. So personally identifiable information, or PII, is essentially any data that could potentially be used to identify a particular person. And so my project this summer was to build a capability that would go through General Mills data in this data catalog called Elation to find tables and columns with PII information on them. And then I'd find these tables and then compare the data security classification of these tables to make sure that they are correct. So, so basically, I had a few big PII categories, such as like name and email, and then I would find like specific key phrases that I wanted to search for under each bigger category. So for example, name, I'd have like first name and last name for like finding PII information on the servers. And then what I did was I took this information that I found and I wrote a SQL code that would search through all the tables in Elation for me. And then I would connect the table security information of these tables to the code that I written. And then so that was the basis of my project. And then as a stretch goal, since I finished that pretty early in my internship, I did play around with Tableau to create a dashboard that showed how many tables had whatever classification there was. And so yeah, so the key takeaways that I learned from my time at General Mills was project management, since coming from high school, which was pretty structured, to the corporate world where I had to manage everything by myself or with help from the team. It was a lot of trying to plan out my project with others and then identifying what I had to do. And then another big thing was seeking help and advice from team members and collaborating with other teams. So basically communication with a lot of people at General Mills. And I found that to be really interesting and really fun to do, because I got to learn from a lot of professionals at General Mills. And then lastly, I learned a lot of new technical skills. So I never had exposure to SQL or Tableau. And so that was really fun to learn this summer. And so lastly, I would like to thank everyone from General Mills who helped me. I had an amazing experience this summer. And I'll make sure to use what I learned this summer in the future.
Super, Maggie, that's so kind. That's the best thing a person can hear, is that you're going to honor their support of you by carrying that forward. That's so cool. Maggie, what's in store for you? I'm sorry.
So next year I'll be a freshman at Carnegie Mellon University and I'll be studying computer science.
Super, congratulations to you. That's great news. Thank you so much for your presentation. I'm going to let somebody into the waiting room. We get them in here. All right, so Belise, come on down.
Yeah, thank you. I will also just be speaking on it a little bit informally. So my name is Belise Dinsa, and I was placed with Optum. And so within Optum, I was within the real-time data analytics team. But yeah, so for our Shark Tank presentation, we kind of worked on creating an app called Optum Buddy to kind of help the older generation remember to take their pills, order refills, and annual checkups and things like that. So basically, our app would potentially send push notifications to our target audience of 65 and plus, just to help them enhance their health. And during my internship, I think one of the biggest things that I learned was kind of being flexible, especially for expectations. In the beginning of the internship, it was a little bumpy with setting expectations and things like that. But I think communicating it through with our managers, our project managers, really helped us kind of mend some of the obstacles we're going through in the beginning. And so our idea was more of conceptual rather than like technical, but I think that kind of gave me the more of the business side of Optum, and I kind of appreciated that when it was like less technical. And so in the future, I'll be attending the University of Minnesota this year, this coming fall, and I'll be majoring in biomedical engineering with a minor in computer science.
All right, thank you, Belise. Sky Yuma. This is great. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And best wishes to you. Is Karina in the room with us today?
Yes, I'm on the call. Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
Karina.
My name is Karina. I am going to be a freshman at Columbia University this fall studying applied math and applied physics, and I interned at Optum this summer. It was really great. We worked on more of the cybersecurity side of things, where we were trying to create user baselines that would show like what people's activity looked like by merging data from a bunch of different logs. I would say like our biggest challenges were finding out ways to deal with late data, and also finding out like which attributes were the most useful for linking up the different logs. I really appreciated learning like Spark and also the ETDL. We use like a giant data lake. So just finding out ways to deal with large data sources, I think was really useful, especially because I think going forward, I'm not planning to be like more in the computer like software design side of things, but I think knowing how to deal with data is really important, especially like in all the sciences. So thank you so much. It was really a great opportunity. I think without this program, I wouldn't have even been considering doing an internship. So it was really great.
Super, Karina. Wonderful to have you, and best wishes with your next steps with your boundless possibilities. All right, Akandra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Akandra Kamini, and I interned at General Mills this summer. So I was part of the branded sites team. So that team is actually responsible for creating and maintaining over 300 websites for General Mills. So when you go to like the Cheerios website, for example, they're responsible for that. And my project for the summer was to create an intake form for the branded sites team. So an intake form is just a way that all the different teams like receive requests in order to complete a task. So someone from Cheerios could send a bug fix or something through this form, and it's something that the branded sites team didn't have before. So to do that, I actually conducted stakeholder interviews. So I talked to people from different teams, figured out what kinds of problems they were having with their intake processes, and then what we could do on our own. And then I worked with Typeform and Smartsheet to actually create the form that we were going to use. I learned a lot this summer though, so I'd never used those two technologies before. I learned about like creating sprints and creating Kanban boards to actually like assign work and everything like that, and how you could connect it all to different technologies that we were already using. And then I also wanted to connect it back to these boundless possibilities. So I definitely explored something new this summer, not only with like the internship, but exploring new technologies, exploring new ways to talk to people and like in a professional setting as well. And then also I explored the General Mills campus, which was super cool. I was really sad we didn't get to go in and actually use the cereal bar, but it's okay. And then I also had a bunch of thank yous. So of course, a thank you to like my manager and everyone who helped me through the process, especially Nev, who was my aspirations buddy. And then of course the leadership, because we definitely wouldn't be here without them. And they were super accessible to all of the interns. And we did presentations at the end of the summer that they were at. And it was just a great environment to be in. And everyone was so kind and so helpful. And I'm really grateful to have the experience.
That's great, Akandra. And what are your plans, your more immediate plans for your boundless possibilities?
Yeah, I'll be attending the University of Minnesota Twin Cities with a major in computer engineering and a minor in economics.
Super, great to have you in state. Wonderful news. Thank you so much, Akandra. All right, let's see, Devna.
Awesome. Okay, I'll just quickly share my screen. Okay, so I'm Devna Panda, and this summer I was an intern at Optum on the Enterprise Clinical Performance team. So within Optum, I was on the STARS Data Mart team this summer, and at the beginning of the summer, my fellow interns and I were tasked with developing a web application to modernize the provider hierarchy override file, or the PHOF. So to provide a bit of context, the PHOF actually works in relation with the Patient Care Opportunity Report, or the PCOR. Now, this report kind of measures what gaps in care patients have based on recording whether they've received certain quality measures, such as a colorectal screening or a mammogram. And then this information is reported to healthcare providers, who can then get a sense of what gaps in care patients have and how they can go about filling them. Additionally, the PCOR is essentially used to measure health plans' performance, and the federal agency Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services provides a star rating for different health plans based on how well they're providing care for their members. Now, the PHOF works in conjunction with the P-Core by updating health system and provider groupings in the P-Core. So in the past, the previous process of updating the PHOF file has been requiring a lot of human intervention, since it's merely an Excel file, and updating the process of updating the PHOF is a manual process. So this summer, what we did was, our goal was to develop a fully automated web application using the web framework Angular, SQL Server, and also the product management tool Rally. So in terms of my key takeaways from this summer, I would say that some of the biggest ones were my firsthand exposure to web frameworks such as Angular and Vue, practical experience with front-end development, and getting to see how project management works in an enterprise. And then beyond that, this summer we actually had the opportunity to engage in Optum's Medicare and Retirement certification training. And through that, I was able to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the different facets of health insurance in America and healthcare. This takeaway is particularly important to me because I hope to become a physician in the future. So this definitely aided me in gaining that knowledge to help me for my future goals. The third key takeaway that I had was just the opportunity to implement agile methodology and see how sprints and refinement sessions work, as well as understand the role that a product owner and development team plays in the whole process. So just to tie it all back to the boundless possibilities, I would say that this contributed to my boundless possibilities because it allowed me to expand both my knowledge and capabilities that I'm sure will positively benefit me in the future. And I just want to say I'm so thankful to Optum for this opportunity. And before I wrap up, I think I forgot to mention, this was just one screenshot of the PHOF modernization UI that my team and I created. And before you asked me, Russell, my future plans are I hope to become, I hope to become a physician. So I'll be studying pre-med with a biomedical engineering major and philosophy minor at the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities.
Super, Dave. No, thank you so much for your presentation. Loved it. Loved that you had an internship in a medical related company related to your life goals. And I just wish you the very, very best along your path. Thank you so much, Dave, for participating. All right. So let's see, I'm kind of counting the numbers here. I think we'll do one more and then we'll be kind of taking a little break with some remarks from Charlotte. And let's see if Caroline is in the space.
Yes, I am. So let me just share my screen quick. And we're gonna hope this goes well. Can everyone see my slides?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I was an intern on the SPS Commerce's assortment development team. So what the assortment team does is they manage item attributes for supplier and retailers. So an item attribute can be anything from like a size, a color, or a material of an item. And so what Assortment does is they take item data from imports, they transform them, and they export it. So that way suppliers are meeting retailers' requirements. So I guess like here's an example of like a book. So like you can see like publisher, series titles. So with the Assortment team, what I worked on was I kind of took like a ticket approach. So instead of having a large project that I worked on for the full summer, I had smaller individual projects that were a combination of back end and front end. So that means I got to use different languages like SQL, Java, and React. I also worked on some projects outside of my assigned work in like a company hackathon and doing some other coding guild projects. And I did a lot of pair programming, which was programming with someone else. So that way we could get better coding ideas and our code would be neater and easier to read. So this is an example of one of the things I worked on, which was allowing Assortment operations to update an organization ID straight from the UI. Because before then, if you wanted to update the organization ID, you actually had to open up a ticket with the team. So it took a long time and it was a pain. So by adding the ability to add it to the UI, it makes it more convenient for everyone. And to do that, I had to use a combination of front-end React JavaScript and back-end Java and SQL to make sure everything lines up in the database correctly and there's no errors and all the security looks okay. Another thing I worked on was adding sorting to export tables. The export tables are currently a beta feature in the product. So getting to work with something that is still being like really actively developed was definitely an interesting experience. So in this case, see like the status column changed to be sorted by, in this case, queued down to errored. So that just makes it helpful for the user to be able to find things in an easier fashion than having to look through randomly. So my main takeaways were having a good mentor, manager, like TechMake and team is really the key to success, because when you have a team that can work well together, it means it's going to make your project flow better, the code's going to be better, and you're going to have better ideas. And in addition to that, I also got the opportunity to use new technologies and learn better coding practices, which will help with my boundless possibilities, because in addition to that new learning, getting the firsthand experiences by actively filling out like tickets and working with like beta features, it really taught me experiences that you can't get outside of an internship. And my final takeaway was some of the company highlights were like the coding guilds, the book clubs, and especially Tech Jam, which is an event in the summer where different people at the company get to present and talk about their ideas. And that really just kind of showed me how having a solid community at your company really makes a big difference, and it really makes it an excellent company to work for. So I'd like to say thank you to my manager, Andre, my mentor, Madeline, TechMate, Megan, and just the rest of the Assortment team for an incredible summer.
Super, Caroline. And I know you're heading back to Breck School.
Yep.
For your senior year. What's in store for you?
Writing a lot of college applications.
That's true.
A lot of essays.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll keep you plenty busy. Thank you so much for your presentation. Excellent job. You know, your comment about teamwork and that, you know, you are the company you keep, right? That's what I always learned in life from my family. And I just was reminded that one of my colleagues didn't get an opportunity to introduce herself. And so Christy, if you could introduce yourself, talk about your role and your connection to this, that would be great.
Hi guys, I am Christy Zachariason, and I'll turn my video on. I work at the IT Center of Excellence in communications. So I manage the websites and website design and social media marketing, SEO, stuff like that. So this is I guess this is actually the first time you're holding this event, right? Russ?
Right, yes.
Okay, so yeah, this I'm excited to be here, and I actually was just telling my husband how impressed I am with what all of you guys have in your future. Like, it's just amazing where you guys are going to school and the programs that you're majoring in and all of it. So it's just a really cool thing for me to see and see so many women succeeding. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Christy. In your background, you've got somebody in your background that maybe you could describe who that person is.
Oh, that's Ada Lovelace. She is actually the person who designed the first coding. So a lot of people don't know that that was actually done by a woman. And so I decided that I wanted to put her in my background so more people could find out who she was. And I think it's a fact that's been lost to history and should probably be something that people recognize. So.
Right, super. Thank you, Christy. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, no problem.
Yep, what I think we're going to do, folks, before Charlotte makes her remarks, is if everybody who's comfortable just turning on their cameras, I think we'd like to take a kind of a screenshot of everyone in attendance. If you're not interested to kind of show your face, that's fine. We'll see your name. But for those of you that can show your face, we would love that. So let's do that at this time. All right, and Christy, are you going to be able to do the screenshot here?
Yeah, I'm just, hold on, I gotta get it so I have more people on
All
here.
right.
I'm just making
All
my,
right.
actually, I wonder if I put it on my other screen, if I can actually get it even bigger. So just give me
Okay,
one.
let's try that. So this is an example of it takes a village, right? Of supporters, of people who really care for each other and want to work together on behalf of young people, for one, but also to further the aims of your business and the company that you work for. So this is wonderful. Just let me know when you think you're complete there, Christy.
Okay, so does anyone know, is there a way that I can get it so everybody is on here? I'm getting about like, I'd say 20 some people, which, you know, obviously isn't.
I've got 1, 3, 4, 5 rows. So what I'm going to do is you look forward to, Christy, I'll do a screenshot. Look forward at the camera, if you will.
Christy, underneath your preferences and videos, at the bottom of the video one, you can choose to see 25 participants or 49 participants. That's where you change it.
Is there like a button?
There's a radio button in your system preferences for Zoom, in your Zoom preferences.
Right, sorry, I'm trying to get it so I can see everybody. Let's see. Video settings, you said?
Yep. And at the bottom of that, you'll see 25 or 49.
It is not giving me, I can see it, but it's not giving me the option of clicking on it.
So let me see if I can get that. It's under video preferences.
Yeah, and then you just like
Settings.
down to the, it's way at the bottom. But
Let me see
I wonder
here.
if it's our Zoom.
I can do it.
You can? Okay.
No, it's not allowing me.
I bet it's our MNAiC Zoom system.
All right.
But what, I'll just take 2 screenshots. I'll just do it that way. So I will get the first group of people. So if everybody wants to look forward, I'll get the first group here. So I'll come.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, and then you go IT. Corny, right? And then she'll take the picture and then we'll get to the second screen. So 1, 2, 3, IT.
Got one. And
All right.
then let me, hold on, let me just save it and then I will get the second group. So again, everyone's gonna have to smile because I guess you guys don't know which
All
one.
right. 1, 2, 3.
No, hold on one second, Russ. I gotta
Okay.
save in the first one. Sorry.
All right.
It's a little clunky, but okay. So
Dallas, when you're ready. And I want to hear some exuberance here out of IT. Okay, come on.
all right, so I am ready now.
1, 2, 3, IT.
All right, got it.
Great. Thank you so much, Christy, for that and our group for joining us. So Charlotte, take it away.
Thank you, Russell. Let me grab my screen here.
I just want to thank SPS Commerce and Amy Patton in particular, who introduced me to Charlotte and indicated that she thought Charlotte had a message that was just super appropriate for today's session. And so I met with Charlotte. She's a phenomenal young woman in the field, and you're going to really enjoy your time with.
Thank you so much, Russell. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak here today. I'm so excited by all the talent that I'm seeing and have had a lot of great experiences working with our interns at SPS. Let me begin. When I first started out on my journey into tech, one of the first comments made by someone close to me was, "I believe you will fail." While this assertion didn't ultimately come true, and I'm doing well as an application engineer in the field now, it's a sentiment that still persisted throughout my journey and sometimes made reasonable mistakes seem monumental. I'd like that to not be the case for you. I'd like to give you the chance today, or at least the inspiration, to remain resilient when opposition, setback, and negativity inevitably occur and prevent you from embracing the possibilities that truly are boundless and always around you as you proceed in this exciting journey that is a career in tech. Using my own experience as an example today, I have 3 ideas for you to consider as you embark upon the next steps in your tech career. Only boys do tech. Beliefs can be self-reinforcing. It's important to understand the ones we hold and why we hold them. Things and consequences. What is the right thing to do and how do we figure that out? And it's all just data. Making friends with doubt, understanding and using skepticism, whether it's internal or external, as an ally. Let me use my own career story as a little bit of a backdrop for this discussion. Growing up, I had every reason to believe in my ability and be inspired to pursue a career in the male-dominated field of tech. I had strong female influences from my grandmother traveling across an ocean with her children and husband to pursue a better life, to my mother training with the United States Air Force, as well as the powerful and unyielding support of an engineer father dedicated to the advocacy of women working in the fields of math, science, and tech. Much like the moment I heard, "I believe you will fail," however, a small but contradicting seed of disbelief developed upon the arrival of my wildly gifted younger brother, who was basically writing code and completing math equations from birth. My brother had something that, because I didn't have it, and because most of the individuals that I actually saw working in the field were male, triggered and reinforced the belief that only boys do tech. So instead of pursuing activities for which I'd so convincingly confirmed myself to be incapable, I rested on what seemed to be more expected or stereotypical for my gender, activities like art, music, dance, counseling, caretaking. My first career then, after pouring my effort into these pursuits and developing some skill, was in training with a ballet company during my high school years. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this idea of self-reinforcing beliefs and expanding doubt by sharing with you some personal details. During my adolescence, my family was going through a period of personal challenge. When I was in middle school, my dad had entered a recovery program for alcoholism, which he had struggled with when I was a kid. In coping, my mother had also struggled with a hoarding problem. She's the kind of person the show hoarders might be interested in. Despite these challenges, I never felt in a state of neglect and never felt a lack of love from my parents. I didn't see anything wrong with them, and I thought I just saw them dealing with something very difficult that I didn't understand. I didn't see anything wrong until my friends stopped being allowed to be my friends because their parents didn't want them around my parents, who could be seen as having problems and broken. And as an adult, I understand this now, but as a kid, I kind of took that to mean, well, there must be something wrong with me too. And the thing about beliefs, like hearing you'll fail or believing that only boys do tech, they tend to have a great ability to reinforce themselves. So starting with this thought, maybe there's something wrong with me, I started to carry myself like that there was something wrong with me. And it caused me to kind of be treated as if there was something wrong with me. And this all eventually sort of contributed to some kind of anxiety, social anxiety throughout my high school adolescence. Bringing that back to vocational pursuits, though I very much appreciated the artistry and the discipline involved, ballet gradually became more of a coping mechanism for this belief process, rather than something that I actually enjoyed and felt skilled in doing. It was based first on the belief that I wouldn't be any good at tech, and then was enhanced or exaggerated by this process of finding a way to run from the things that were causing me anxiety and those kind of negative beliefs about myself at the time. So it helped with those things, but it wasn't actually a true solution. So the question then arose, what could be a solution? What could be a right course of action for me in my future? Someone said this to me once, there are things and there are consequences. Decide on the consequences that matter most to you and use that to guide what's right for you. What sorts of beliefs did I want to reinforce and what mattered to me? Finally, taking a step to ignore any preconceived notions of lack of ability, I realized that I was actually very interested in math and science and engineering. and pursued in college a program in chemical engineering. I also had the opportunity while studying in engineering to work as a counselor for adults with disabilities, giving my life a little bit of balance at the time. This idea of the right thing for me was really tested about halfway through my education when my now husband's kids kind of came into the picture. These children were in a kind of state of neglect with their mother. She had a chemical dependency problem that I could kind of relate to at the time, having been through it in my own life. And so deciding to put my education on hold at that moment because of my own personal experiences seemed very powerfully to be the right thing to do. I can't say though that it was smooth, that I didn't have reservations. It was challenging. Sometimes I would get angry and almost say things like, you know, what is this right thing? Who is it actually right for? And like the title here says, I learned to look to the consequences. I considered that belief reinforcement. I realized that I also needed this experience in taking care of these kids, maybe as much as, if not more than they needed me to learn something that I might not have learned elsewhere. I was curious, and I felt compelled to protect them from the consequences that I had experienced having grown up in a similar situation. For me, that's how I evaluated, right? For you, in your path, you'll have to consider a different set of conditions. You'll have to clearly ask yourself, what do I care about? And go from there. That thing I mentioned that I was curious about that I may have needed to learn from this experience was actually many things, but a large one was a kind of forced attention on that little seed of doubt I had started with in the beginning. The thing that kind of turned into this full-blown anxiety that I had coped with by running from. Now with 4 kids, there was no room to be afraid and no time to be afraid. I had a job to do now. Being afraid meant harm to my new family, meant stagnation and inability to rise to challenges necessary to make this new situation work. So I started to adopt a new policy. Unlike the previous approach of avoiding, I took on the task of fighting that doubt and fear. I took an approach of kind of exposure therapy and strength of will. I didn't care how uncomfortable, embarrassed I would get when I encountered things that were challenging and scary, from having to meet with my children's teachers or enter a court session, or eventually find myself pursuing a new career as a student of a coding boot camp. I was able to take all of these things as a new approach and kind of make that anxiety dissipate by facing it outright. What took me embarrassingly, maybe a little embarrassingly too long to realize that it wasn't the forced effort that made these things easier, but rather the consequence of this, that this all provided for me more information. The efforts to kind of overcome all of this difficulty didn't have to be forced or torture, but could it be instead seen as kind of data collection missions? It's all data. The more data, the more possibilities for understanding, the more learning, and even the ability to use data to rewire some previously misinformed beliefs. I didn't see it initially, but once I had finally had the chance to work my way into working in tech through this coding boot camp, and ultimately leading to my job here at SPS, I have found that it has been a critical piece making all the difference in my ability to approach this new career. Just one person's perspective, one data point, and at one point in time. I would like, hopefully, to try to spare you a little bit from that long lesson that I've tried to describe here today, and give you a different data point. Let me reinforce for you this belief. I believe you will succeed. We're all proving, and you can keep that going, that it isn't just boys who do tech. We get the space today now to figure out for ourselves what is right for us, what drives and excites us, and we get to go after it. Let's keep giving that to our future selves, the future women in tech. And we can learn to use the negative parts and the doubt and skepticism to our advantage. It can be an ally. It can teach us to ask more questions, gather more data. Data leads to more possibilities. Get out there, get that data, those experiences, lead yourself and all of us to a boundless future for women in tech. Thank you very much.
So, so Charlotte, I just want to comment. It's totally unexpected. I had no idea what your message today was going to be. And I just want to say this, thank you for modeling your courage and your authenticity, being vulnerable in this space with us today. I thank you for disclosing your life experiences. I just want to say we're all broken. We just are, and it's okay to be broken. And we all have strengths. And I think you turned your brokenness into strength, and that's just so empowering. I just want to thank you for that and for this message. And if any of you are compelled to leave Charlotte a message in chat, please do so at this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue with our presentations. And I just, let me just see here. Is Lexi in the room? I'm thinking maybe not.
No, I'm here.
Oh, Lexi, great, wonderful. I was hoping you would be, so wonderful. Take it away, Lexi.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Lexi Rower, and I was an intern with Optum this summer. So going into the internship, I really did not know what to expect. I had an internship last year at Land O'Lakes, and this year it was very, very different. I was very overwhelmed at the beginning because there were like hundreds of interns, and a lot of them were like college interns, so I really didn't know what was going to happen. But my team and my managers really helped me out and made me feel much more comfortable at the company. So the team that I was on this year was the PIC contract analysis team, which PIC stands for Payment Integrity Compass. So our project was automating the process of putting the information and payer provider contracts into the PIC system. Currently, this is done manually, which can take hours because people have to read through these contracts and then individually type in the information into the system. So our team did more of a proof of concept. It was more to show like how important and efficient and useful this could be for the company. So we created a graphical user interface for that and worked close with a team that would use it in the future. And the real implementation of this project will be created next year by a full-time working team. So the way that our internship worked is that we had something called a Shark Tank model, which is where we had presentations every 2 weeks to a team of sharks, which are basically people in the company who know a lot more about the stuff that we're doing. And then they gave us feedback on our presentations and our projects. And this helped our team really focus on the business value and importance of our project. So stuff I learned this summer was that I became much more comfortable and familiar with using Python. I'd used it in the past, but I now know it a lot more in depth. I learned a lot about data engineering and data cleaning processes. I also learned about machine learning, as that will be used more in the real implementation of the project that we did. And I also learned a lot of communication and business skills as I worked in such a large business. So I think all of the skills and stuff that I learned this summer are going to be really useful for my boundless possibilities in the cybersecurity workspace in the future, because this fall I plan on attending Iowa State University for cybersecurity engineering and German. So I'll be heading down there in a few days. So I really think that this internship and everything I learned will be very helpful in my future. Something fun about this internship at Optum was some of my highlights, which were hanging out with other interns. We had these lunch meetings and we played games and stuff like that. So it was really cool to connect with other interns on other teams and just hang out. And I also had the opportunity to have a tour of the Optum building, which is down in Eden Prairie, which I know, like, sometimes I like to say that it would have been really nice to have an in-person internship this summer because my whole thing was virtual other than the tour. But I am glad I did not have to commute half an hour out there in the morning and half an hour back in the evening every day. So yeah, so I'd just like to say thank you to my team and thank you to Optum for having me this summer.
Super, Lexi. And Lexi, maybe you could give a shout out to a previous internship that you experienced through Aspirations as well.
Yeah, last summer I had the opportunity to intern with Land O'Lakes as a data and analytics intern. So that was really fun. I see Amanda and Nancy on the call. I worked with them last year. So that was really amazing. It was also all online. So I've had a sort of experience, but as I mentioned, they were both very different. So.
Yep, you bet. Thanks so much, Lexi. Great to see you. And now we will move on to, let's see, Cecilia and Nikki Stevens. You're going to speak on behalf of Cecilia.
I am. Cecilia had an appointment this morning. So I'm going to read her remarks. I probably won't do it justice by just reading it, but I will try. So she says, my internship at SPS has been an incredible opportunity that I'm exceedingly grateful for. Since starting, I've gotten the opportunity to improve my code by working with professionals in the field, explore several areas of computer science I haven't had exposure to, including database engineering and systems reliability engineering, and really dive deep into this field. The internship has fueled my passion for computer science, and I've met so many incredible people who are willing to help me in my journey. My internship has featured a multi-step project where I've been able to write code that can compile and deploy files, as well as catch events and send out notifications when they occur. Some of this code is operating in the production environment at SPS right now, which is always fun. I remember watching my first code run in production and running out to Best Buy. I was at Best Buy, I ran out to buy something and then ran back to my desk and looked it up. And anyway, I know how fun that is. My time at SPS has been wonderful, and I know that the experience will be incredibly useful as I begin my college journey this fall. I'm especially grateful for the support of Corey Fleming. Shout out to Corey, who's on the meeting today. Scott Russell, Kevin Ryan, and Alicia Struble, as they've all been a huge part of my internship at SPS. Her plans this fall, I'll be attending Michigan Tech as a computer science major and using the opportunities that college provides to continue networking and growing my knowledge. I've also been thinking about returning to SPS next summer as a college intern to continue learning and developing my skills.
Well done, Nikki. Thank you so very much for representing Cecilia today. It's greatly appreciated. Let's see here. How about Isha? Isha, are you here with us today? All right, I think not. And Isha Sekar was with Land O'Lakes, so we will give her a shout out. And let's see, how about Claire Stelmach?
Hi, let me just get my presentation.
Hi, Claire.
One second.
Are you attempting to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
It's coming. There it is.
Can you see? Which one can you see?
Well, I can see a few.
Okay.
Yep.
I can just.
I can see the presentation mode with the notes and not the actual. Yeah.
I don't really have visuals, so I'll just say it. So yeah, I'm Claire and I was an intern at SPS Commerce this summer. So I was on 3 different teams over the summer. The first one was the system operations team, where I shadowed to see the different systems that SPS uses, such as LogicMunder or PagerDuty. And it was really cool to see how the different systems work together and how the company is able to use these tools to be more productive and organized. I was also on the site reliability engineering team, where I was able to learn the basics of Terraform, Kubernetes, and AWS in order to complete my tasks. One of the tasks I had was setting up a report of the completion of a backup so that an alert could be sent if this backup did not occur. I was able to do that using Python and Push Gateway. I was also had a task of researching and testing a method of Kubernetes backup and restoration, which I did using Terraform, AWS, and Bolero. With these tasks on the SRE team, it was really cool to get the hands-on experience of performing updates and then also seeing my work actually being integrated with what's already existed there. And then now I am on the cloud operations team. One task I had was setting up an automation to tag all of the things in AWS, which I did using Cloud Custodian. So this was to spread the tags down that already existed. And then another task I had was creating a program in order to change all of the instances of one specific tag to a different format, which I was able to do using Bodo 3. And then on this team, I really enjoyed being able to do more of larger scale projects that have different solutions where I'm able to test different options for how to solve the problems to see what will work best. And then I've definitely learned a lot over this entire internship. A lot of it has been technical skills, such as the use of Terraform or Kubernetes, or a lot of AWS. And then also more of industry skills, such as like Git, Agile, and all of those things and how they're used to increase productivity and collaboration. I also learned a lot about communication, collaboration, and then also just time management. I know a lot of other people have said this has definitely contributed to my boundless possibilities. It has given me a lot of professional experience. And then also I've had a great opportunity to connect with a lot of people and hear about their experiences and get advice on my career and future. And so then I just wanted to give a big thank you to Aspirations for making this program possible. And then also everyone I've worked with at SPS, especially Ben and Troy, who are on this call now. So thank you so much. It's been a great experience.
Well, thank you, Claire. And Claire, I know you're headed back to Mounds View High School. What are your immediate plans?
Yeah, I'm going in my senior year and then also doing PSEO at the University of Minnesota.
Wonderful. That's great. Yeah, this is just a shout out for PSEO folks, because what a great way to, get dual credits, right? And cut down on college costs and also just sharpen your pencil, all the more for the future. So way to go, Claire. Thank you so very much. And let's go to Ezebo. Ezebo, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. Welcome.
So yeah, my name is Ezebo Ugochukwu, but I usually go by Z. I'm a database engineering intern on the cloud database engineering team at SPS Commerce. When I first started, I didn't really know what to expect. I was most nervous about working with databases, which I didn't really know much about. I've learned a lot about databases at SPS Commerce. One of my tasks involved me with working with the database user management framework. It's a framework that provides a way for administrators to manage user access and their object privileges. So I had to create a database from specific files in a folder, and I had to use Python to do that. First, I started by creating a ERD, which is an entity relationship diagram. It shows relationships between like two entities. So basically, an entity is like a component of data or a table. And then within each entity, you have attributes, and they relate to columns. You also have different relationships between entities. For example, you could have a one-to-one relationship An example would be how you have one employee who is assigned to one office. So the two entities would be an employee and an office, and the relationship would be one-to-one. And another example of a relationship would be a one-to-many relationship. So that would be, an example would be like one customer can have many online orders. So that would be a one-to-many relationship. And then finally, there's also a many-to-many relationship, which can also exist between customers and products. So a customer can purchase many products, and products can be purchased by many customers. So that would be a many-to-many relationship. That's just one example of what I've learned at SPS Commerce. And other than that, I've also worked on building an API, and it's not quite done yet, but it's been a really good experience working with other engineers on the SPS team. And I also enjoy learning about databases and normalization in general. I've learned a lot of things that I couldn't have learned in school. And my internship experience was really valuable. And I'd like to shout out my manager, Jeff, who should be in this meeting, and also my mentor, Steve, and my tech mate, Macy Bond, all at SPS Commerce. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Z. And I know that you've been a senior at Sauk Rapids High School. I really want to give a shout out to our schools outside of the metro area. And you are a wonderful representative of our talent that exists outside of the metro area. So I thank you, Z. And I also just love your background, and I just want to hang out there. That's all I'm going to say. It's so wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about the background?
Oh, this is actually from an anime. If you've ever seen Attack on Titan, it's a really good starter anime. I'd recommend it for anyone who wants to get into anime. And yeah, there's a wall right there that's to protect them from the Titans. And then yeah, that's pretty much it.
Love it. I love it. So thank you so much, Z. Great to have you. And I don't know if you mentioned what's your plans here, your media plans?
Oh, so I've already applied for St. Cloud State University in my area, and I'm going into my freshman year, but technically I'm a junior because I did PSU in high school. So yeah, I'm really excited to be almost done with college and going into the work.
Amazing, totally amazing. Good, congratulations to you, Z. That's just incredible. Another a testament to PSEO into your junior year. That's wonderful. All right, so we're going to move on now to Samiksha, and Katie with Prime Therapeutic is going to speak on her behalf.
Yes, Katie's having technical difficulties, so I'm not as sharp as these girls. So, well, I'm going to read what Sammy sent and try to capture her voice when I do this. We'll see if I have good acting skills here. So she says, hi, I'm Sammy, and I interned at Prime Therapeutics in the IT security department on the governance, risk, and compliance team. This team looks into risk management and legal compliance of accounts and assets within Prime. Technical things aside, I had a great time becoming familiarized with the culture of the company. I got to know each person within the department who gave me more insights on the aspects of security that I gravitated towards. For my major project, I worked on a phishing exercise for users and analyzed how the users reacted to the phishing emails. I reported out to the security management team so that they could make decisions accordingly. I think I learned important skills like reading data, presenting, and I was also able to maintain time management ethics throughout my time as an intern. I would like to thank the Minnesota Aspirations program for giving me this wonderful opportunity that made me more confident and assured about my career path. I am majoring in computer science at the University of Minnesota this fall. I would like to thank Katie and Prime for giving me this opportunity and the GRC team for making my internship experience enjoyable.
Super. Thank you so much, Katie, for representing Sammy's comments and her feelings about her internship. Thanks so very much. I'm wondering if Audrey is with us today. Did you know that, Katie?
No, she is taking the test this morning. She's trying to, what is it? She's taking a math test to hopefully then not have to take a class, a math class at MIT. So she is probably right in the midst of that at this time.
Can you describe what her role was this year? Do you have a sense of it?
Yes, let me try to recall. She worked in our DevOps team, and I know that she helped put a tool together. They said it was going wonderfully. They are implementing that tool. So she did that on a team with Ken, and I know there's going to be a write-up about it in our IT newsletter. So I could share that when that comes out. But again, I'm so excited that both teams said that they would love to hire them, and we hope to get them back in the future for another internship. So
that's wonderful news. Thank you so much, Katie.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. And I think we'll be wrapping up the presentations today here with Anjali Dante, Rochester. Anjali, are you still with us?
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to share my screen.
Okay, super. And welcome to you.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Are you able to see and hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So hi everyone, my name is Anjali Dante and I'm a TDP intern at Optum this summer, and I was working on the data science workflow improvements team. So I can confidently say that I wouldn't have grown and learned as much as I have these 10 weeks without the constant feedback, support, and guidance from my team there. The workplace culture at Optum motivated me to do my best, and the projects I worked on gave me an insight onto the inner workings of an industry. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity to grow my skills in Python, and especially enjoyed improving the health assessment dashboard, which is a tool that reports the health of applications across the UHG United Health Group. So this internship, we worked on creating a model that predicts future cases of average downtime minutes. So basically ADTM, which is the amount of time that an application isn't properly operating, and there is a very high cost associated with this downtime. So we're trying to mitigate this problem by creating our model to predict and prevent ADTM. So this model also alerts application owners about the dangers of ADTM and integrates model scores as featured in the health assessment dashboard. So the model also provides suggestions based on model score to application owners. So in addition, I got the opportunity to use some new technologies, and below are some of the ones we worked with. So as a result of this experience, I'm even more excited to pursue a career in computer science and feel well equipped to take on a data science role. So over the course of this internship, I was able to spend many hours with the other interns. So basically creating and integrating the necessary APIs to render on the dashboard, identifying the best clustering algorithm for natural language processing, and participating in design sessions. So I've gained skills in Python, public speaking through our Shark Tank presentations, and model training and tuning using XGBoost. And it was incredibly rewarding to be able to help them meet deadlines and carry out the vision and objectives of our stakeholder. So I really enjoyed presenting and preparing for our Shark Tank presentations, as they really helped me improve my public speaking skills. And while I've been here, so it has really given me the confidence to approach new roles and demonstrate that I have skills and experience they require. So for my highlights, I'll really miss our daily intern meetings, as they made coming into work that much more enjoyable. And our conversations really made me feel like a genuine and valued part of the team. And I really hope that we can continue meeting for lunch even after this internship ends. So I just wanted to say thank you to my managers, the other interns, and Aspirations program.
So, so thank you, Anjali. And what are your plans now?
So I will be attending the University of Minnesota. I'm going to be studying computer science and business at Carlson School of Management.
Well, congratulations to you. And I want to just say this, Anjali, you and I go a long ways back. I'm just blown away. I just watching you grow up into yourself, your confidence. I remember the shy you, and it's great to see you come out and be as confident and competent as you are. So congratulations to you. I'm going to miss you. So stay in touch as you head off to college. And I would just say for all of you interns, there's a lot of folks here that you can, if you have a LinkedIn account, make sure you get connected with people via LinkedIn, and that you build your network. This is a great way to do that. So Anjali, thank you so very much. In a bit, we're going to have our interns head off into some breakout rooms and just kind of connect with each other a bit. But before we do that and we release our company representatives, I'm just wondering if there's any of you who feel compelled to make a comment to our interns. So if you do, fire away. We're interested in any feedback that you may have.
I'll just step in quickly again, Nikki Stevens from SPS Commerce, and say thank you for a great summer. It's always fun to see what we can learn together as part of this program, and good luck with your next year. I hear all the stories of plans and think, man, what was I thinking about my senior year of high school? And it wasn't this. So you should all feel very confident and successful in what you've accomplished so far and what your plans are going forward. But always remember that plans can change and you can decide to do new things and go in new directions, and that's absolutely expected and okay too. So be willing to explore as you keep going in your pathways.
Yeah, I love that advice. And it's okay to let your hair down too and just relax. I love that. Any other comments?
I would also echo on there can be many paths. Tech is an awesome career, and as someone that was never a software engineer, I think people sometimes get trapped into tech and software engineering are the same thing. There are a lot of different ways to have fun and explore tech without being a software engineer. So I would keep an open mind and stick with it. And if software engineering isn't your bag, that's okay. Don't just give up on tech because you don't like software engineering.